records. Now we're working in the realm of the unfalsifiable.
You're not, but look, Ben, you can't come to me and say, everybody I know says he killed himself. And then I respond saying, I actually have my own sources who say he did. You're not, but then you say, look, well, your sources are not valid because they won't put their names on. Everybody I know. Who are your sources? Let's go down the list, and then we'll talk about why they might be saying that.
My sources are the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, Dan Bongino, the Deputy Head of the FBI, and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. And those aren't just my sources. They're everybody's sources because they publicly came out and said this.
Okay. Trump hasn't specifically weighed in on that specific aspect of it. We've all seen the limited things that Trump has said and tweeted on this. And J.D. Vance was calling for transparency and suggesting otherwise prior to taking office. He hasn't commented on this so far, so he's not one of your sources.
Ask him. He's the vice president.
You've got Kash, you've got Dan, and you've got Pam, and we've already discussed that memo in full detail. I'm talking about people behind the scenes who, prior to Trump taking office, I'm not going to get too specific, but trust me, I have high-level sources who have said they don't believe any of that. Any of that. Okay. So, and I'm not going to out them for purposes of convincing you, but you're telling me name them. No, I'm not going to. I don't have authorization.
I'm not saying
and then you say, well, I dismiss all of it because you won't name them.
Hold on, Megan, I'm not saying you should name them. I'm saying they should name themselves because otherwise they are being complicit in one of the greatest cover-ups in the history of the American
That's easy for you to say, Ben. That's very easy for you to say.
Why is that easy for me to say? Why?
Because you'll have your job and you'll have your millions, no matter what they do. Are you kidding?
Megan, give me a break. If somebody came out today and they were a whistleblower on the greatest scandal in the history of the American Republic, they would make more money tomorrow than in their entire life working for the FBI. That's ridiculous.
Okay, there are reasons not to cross the people who are in charge. And that's all I'm going to say. And look, this is me not having...
All right, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We are live again. Got to talk about it because it's still in the public consciousness. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about Zionism and the Epstein cover-up as it relates to Zionism and why these people just want us to go away and not talk about this because once we stop talking about it, they win. That's the whole point. They want us to pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Thank you to everybody that will tune in later. We are live. We're doing the thing, right? Don't forget to like the video on your way in. So we got Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro. Now, Ben Shapiro is all about this. I wonder why. I wonder why he's so interested in keeping this list secret. Now, some people are saying that there is no list, that there's no client list, right? There's no list of... Epstein didn't keep a list of people that he wanted to blackmail or to use later on to implicate them if they ever turned on him or to use to get political favors, right? So we're not saying that there's a client list. We just know that there are flight logs, there are records that will implicate some of the people that were connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and we just want full transparency. That's essentially what the people are asking for, and it seems to be an impossibility for some of these pro-Israel pundits to accept, right? Because certain of them are just saying, well, they're just done, right? They're done talking about this. They're not going to give it any more life until news comes out, right? And these are people who are big-time Trump supporters, big-time MAGA people who helped Trump to get elected.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein.
He's done talking about it for the time being.
My friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in
that's fine. Everybody doesn't have to talk about it. And the bigger platforms, it would be nice if they continue to talk about it and keep it in the public eye. But unfortunately, for the rest of us, we can't just turn a blind eye to this because our consciences won't let us do it. Right? This was a campaign promise. Trump ran on it, right? And he hasn't delivered. So to us, we're thinking, well, you need to deliver on the goods, right? Now, this isn't the only person. Now, there was some more information going on. We had a former I want to click this. We had a former, thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Thank you to everybody that's liking the video. I appreciate you. All right. If you do comment, I will shout you out in the chat. Okay. So Naftali Bennett, you see Tucker's response to him here. He says, as a former Israeli prime minister with the Mossad having reported directly to me, I say to you with 100% certainty, the accusation, what's going on, doing work? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. The accusation that Jeffrey Epstein somehow worked for Israel or the Mossad running a blackmail ring is categorically and totally false. And then Tucker responds saying, you just won't take it anymore. Instead of issuing threats on social media, why don't you sit down for a rational interview on Jeffrey Epstein's ties to the Israeli government? We'll reach out to your office this morning. So we've got, it's in the public consciousness, and it's not going away because we can't let it go away. There was credible evidence that Jeffrey Epstein ran this ring, and that there are powerful people who are connected to it. And for those of us that want what is being coined as the Great Reset and the draining of the deep state, we want to see those with voices, right? We want to see these people pay for their crimes. So, hey, Elsa Olsen, nice to see you again. Steve Hill, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you all for being consistent on these lunchtime lives. Taking a little time before I have to head out at about, in about an hour, 45 minutes it looks like now, right? But we have gotten to the point where people think that it's us who are calling for justice, that we're the problem. I was glad that that Matt Walsh came back and addressed this, came back from his vacation and addressed this post-haste. And if you haven't seen his commentary, go and check it out. I think it's well worth it. But we're not going to let this go. We can't let this go because this is the reason why. Because this is emblematic of deep state fatigue. We have it, right? The Epstein cover-up, it just highlights the fact that we're tired of the deep state, right? We have it. We have, hold on, deep state fatigue, okay? We're tired of the deep state, the shadow government, in so many words, the apparatus that is set up to make it hard for people to change the culture or change American culture quickly. Tulsi Gabbard said it in the video we played yesterday. We're trying to change. What's going on, Brother Caleb and Brother Chuck? What's happening? We want America to change for the better. We want it to return to first principles. We like Christianity to be the only religio licita, right? I'm just saying it out loud. I want Christianity to be the only legal religion in the United States of America. I said it. I know, gasp. I know. But now you can live here. You don't have to practice, but I don't think any other religion should be practiced here, I think. What's going on, Brother Derek Franklin? Thank you for tuning in, brother. But this is emblematic of the mounting fatigue. We have deep state fatigue, and I'm going to talk about that. We have leftist fatigue. We have ratchet fatigue. We have feminist fatigue. We have Zionist fatigue. We have Islam fatigue. We have illegal immigration fatigue. What else? What else I put? Victimhood fatigue. LGBTQ fatigue. For us Laker fans, we got LeBron fatigue. But yeah. But we're tired. We're tired of continuing to see our rights eroded. We're tired of seeing people in high places get away with the most heinous of crimes. We're tired. We have fatigue. There's a truth to that, right? Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Let me see. Did I put something in? You know what I might have done? Hold on one second. Watch this. Watch this, guys. You're gonna see something happen. Let's see. Watch this. I'm gonna change. Right? His base. Watch this. Because the engagement's low. All right. Discuss Trump's Trump failing and his base turning on him. Watch this. Watch this. Pow! Watch this. I know. Watch this. All right. So I just changed the title and the description and removed the information about the deep state. Let's see what happens. All right. So we're going to keep talking about it. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the engagement picks up. Okay. So Adam Silver fatigue, right? LeBron fatigue, right? I know. Yeah. Okay. So, but this is what's happening. People are, and this is being talked about everywhere. And you can kind of see the lines are being drawn. You can see those who are deep state folk that have been controlled by the elites and are elites themselves. Listen to their reaction.
You know, there's no, I don't believe there's a list. I don't believe there's a list. I do think that lots of people have been on that plane. Lots of people have been on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. There is no, from what I've read, there is no indication that they were ever on at the island. Not Jeffrey, but all the people in the flight logs. It doesn't say these people were flown to the island. It just says they were on the plane. That's the information.
Right, you see how she's trying to, right? You know, she's doing her thing, right? The leftist thing, right? Why are you always lying? Why can't you just admit that these people were being flown and they were engaging in nefarious activities? Why do we have... So they were all about the list when they thought Trump was on it. Now that Trump is hiding it with them, they're all, oh, okay, he's one of us, goobo gobble, one of us, right? And so there, you see Ben Shapiro, Whoopi, all of like, yeah, all of them, they like, yeah, there ain't no list. We ain't got no list. What you talking about? There ain't no list. Right. That's what I'm saying. So they're happy now, right? You got now Dershowitz, but Dershowitz is still, now he says there's not a list per se, but Dershowitz is saying that there is information. Now let's listen in to what Dershowitz is saying.
A client list or anything that the Trump administration could release tonight.
No, there is no client list. There never has been a client list. A client list suggests that Jeffrey Epstein made a list of people to whom he trafficked women. What there is a redacted FBI affidavit from accusers. There are several of them from accusers that accuse Jeffrey, that accuse various people of having improper sex, and that has been redacted. The names of the people accused have been blacked out. Now, of course, because I was the lawyer and I did all the investigations, I know who all these people are. I could figure out, based on everything that I saw, who Mr. X is, Mr. Y is, and Mr. Z. I can tell you right now, none of them are public figures who are currently in office. Some of them were previously in office. Some of them are dead. But there is no client list. And the redactions could be undone if you go to court. So many of the things that are being suppressed by two judges in Manhattan. And they're doing it largely to protect the alleged accusers who are, in the view of the judges, victims, even though we don't know what their actual status is. But the judges have issued orders, which is why I can't disclose things I'd love to disclose, saying that you can't disclose this information. But Pam Bondi and the Justice Department and Donald Trump are not responsible for that. I don't know of any information that they could disclose that they haven't disclosed. Now, maybe there is some, but I'm simply not aware of it. And so I think it's important to place the blame where the blame deserves to be placed.
All right, so let me get to some of these people who are tuning in so I can say hello to you. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Big Smitty, what's going on? Daniel Lee, welcome. Welcome. Maria Resendez, welcome. All right, so we got everybody. Hey, Kiana Shaw, what's going on? Long time no see. Agent Smith and Rage Character, thank you. And Brother Derek Franklin coming through with the super chat, brother, putting my children through college, helping me to date my wife. I appreciate you, brother. All right, so he said channels like yours and other in the alt media won't let this die, which exposes the fact that the government, the emperor has that the emperor has no clothes. Pre-internet and alt media, this would not have been possible. Exactly. That's why I'm talking about it every day. I'm not going to let it go. Right? I'm not going to let it go. Yes, what's going on, Kiana Shaw, member and moderator? Welcome back. All right. But yes, y'all saw the engagement kind of started going up. I'm at 168 after changing the title and the thumbnail to not include Deep State. All right. All right. Thank you, Cadence Gaston, right? And DM Derek. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we're still right. You just want a steady job, right? There you go. Right. I mean, look, they keep giving me content, right? Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Yes. So we're trying to make this happen, right? So that people won't forget about what happened with Epstein. So we'll keep talking about it. And hopefully some of this pressure will push the Trump administration to realize that we're not letting it go. We want to see action on this. We want more information released. That's what we want. And we need those Zionists who are around him that are trying to, yes. Thank you to everybody. Yes, if you could like the video, that would be very helpful. Thank you. Get that engagement up. And comment, keep commenting, right? That helps as well. Talk about things in the side. Yeah, I'm going to give you all stuff to talk about. Okay, so we see Dershowitz is using the he's redefining terms. He's saying there's no client list, right? You're not just going to find the list. Oh, this person, but he's saying that there is information redacted from the files that will let people know who's who. Why can't we have that? Why can't we see it? We'd like to see it. Let's make it public. That's what we want, right? Yeah, whatever it is. Exactly. Kiana says, whatever the info in whatever form, we want it. We want to see it. We just want it. We don't want this money.
I just want some money.
We just want the files, right? We just want the files. We just want the list. Give us the list. We're grateful. We'd be grateful for the list. Now, Charlie says he's done talking about it. They're going to gaslight whoever talks about it and makes any insinuation that it could be a cover-up or that he could be connected to any intelligence agency, whether it's Mossad, whether it's the CIA, whether it's the FBI, whoever it is. We just want to know where his connections were, who he was working with, and why.
They work. Is that, let's stay focused on that.
Yeah,
we can.
Well, the thing, Charlie,
but defend yourself.
Sure.
Obviously.
Well, the thing is, Charlie, as you may have noticed, some of you may have seen some of my other debates. Every single time I come up here to debate issues, and they come up here to debate me and my character. It's all they have every single time because they can't actually take on any of the arguments. And so the most pathetic, low-hanging fruit of, you guys like Trump, this guy said bad things about Trump. Listen, guys, I'm a free American. I supported Donald Trump in this last election. Yes, he did just actively cover up a giant child rapist ring, and I'm going to criticize him for that, okay? And I'm sorry, after all these years of us right-wingers saying, protect the children, come on, that's bad for your soul if you don't. You speak up about that. It's horrible.
They work. Is that, let's stay focused,
right?
On
like
that.
He said, it's horrible for your soul to know that these things are happening and not do anything about it. Now, we give Trump credit because he has essentially ended at the border the trafficking that was happening there. He's effectively ended it, and he's trying to find these 300,000 kids that went missing. He's found 10,000 of them so far. So we're not saying that what he's doing is all bad. We're just wanting him to be consistent. Don't try to protect these deep state PDF files while also doing this great thing of, protecting those kids that were being trafficked through the border. Do both. It's a both and. We want to see both. That's what we're saying. We're not criticizing everything that Trump does. And I know a lot of people in the MAGA movement are saying you can't criticize Trump because if you criticize Trump, then you'll fracture the base and then we'll lose the movement and the Democrats will win and the deep state will win again and we'll be put back in, everybody will be put.
They're going to put y'all back in chains.
Back in chains, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about this last week. We talked about this last week, sometime this week, earlier this week, where, the 300,000 kids that went missing, 10,000 have been found. You can look at one of my previous videos. The rundown's in there. The link will be in the description. Yep. Nobody is above criticism. Exactly, Rage character. Exactly. That's it. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. This is what we voted to know. Okay. And we want to know. All right. So we have fatigue, right? Because what it looks like is the Zionists are winning. If they do, I'll still glorify Christ because I'm free in him. Right. And I'm a slave. Yeah, exactly. So you Gucci. But I do prefer to be physically free. Right. Well, yeah, they're putting us back in chains, right? That's what they're saying, right? They're going to put us back in chains. Ah, my goodness. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about that too. We got a rundown. I only have an hour. We got 28 minutes of it left, but maybe a little bit, maybe 38 minutes. But we're going to talk. We got a lot to talk about. But Dershowitz says there's no list. We're talking about that. We're going to move quickly to this little. I'm trying to do that thing where I someone, I forget the guy's name, but he said you should try doing a really interesting topic first, then one that's a little bit less interesting from your rundown, and then let's see, we'll do this. We'll do something that's a little bit less interesting than the cover up. We'll move right back into leftist fatigue. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about some ratchet fatigue. This is something that. Avert your eyes. I'm just gonna say avert your eyes, gentlemen. Avert your eyes, because this is very, very common, right? Right. Right. This is insane. So we see this happening all too often. This Tommy talks about it. Sotomayor talks about it. I'm so tired of the fake self-esteem. And it's not just black women, but it seems like we have this ratchet mindset that these women who are extremely overweight and who shouldn't be this confident, right, are running around here with their bodies out, right? And it's insane. Like we shouldn't be championing morbid obesity. I know people aren't calling it ratchet fatigue. I know what they're calling it, right? But I'm looking at it from the perspective of this isn't just the large women being overly confident isn't just a black fatigue issue. This is a ratchet mindset that needs to be excised from every community, right? Because this is unhealthy, right? This is unhealthy. Yeah, this is unhealthy. And it's not just this is a poverty mindset. OK, now, don't get me wrong. It is more acute in black females. Right. We've seen the obesity statistics. OK, so we're just calling it out. Right. We're just calling it out. Now, unfortunately, like we talked about, we're doing the thing where we talk about a subject in between. And this is one of the things that we've seen happening in the culture with this body positivity movement. And we've got to right? We've got to talk about how we correct that, right? What you saying, Brother Chuck? Right. I know. Kevin would have had a field day with this woman. Tommy, yes, was probably already featured on her show. Yeah, I know. But they get validation, right? Someone mentioned it in the comments. They get validation online from other women and from men who lack eggplant control. Let's just say that. Now, we can get into the weeds and try to figure out why it is, but the point is we should all be tired of this. We should all be looking at them with the side eye. Now, I want to talk about the next thing that we're going to bring up is this gentleman here and his web of lies. We're talking about none other than Gavin Newsom. Yes. Okay. Let's listen in. We're not going to listen to the whole clip, but this is
a tough one.
He won't have me on the show, by the way.
Who will be held?
Rogan, all right,
So this is from Joe Rogan.
Oh, God.
This is a tough one.
He won't have me on the show, by the way.
Who will be held accountable for mandating COVID-19 vaccines for children, which were unnecessary and ineffective? And who will take responsibility for the unprecedented increases in myocarditis and cancer cases among them? Second to that, do you feel any remorse for that draconian decision that was obviously heavily influenced by the pharmaceutical companies' desire for maximum profit?
Yeah, I've signed some of the most progressive laws against big pharma in the country, so I have receipts on that. So no one should suggest that it was about doing the bidding of big pharma. Quite the contrary. California, like many states, red states included, Florida included, moved forward early in the pandemic, working with the Trump administration and the advisors from the Trump administration to impose certain strategies to mitigate the impacts of this novel disease, coronavirus. What's interesting about this process is none of us have really reviewed in an objective way. It's all through the lens of politics, what we did right and what we did wrong. And so I'll answer that question by telling you what I've just tasked. I've asked our team to put together an objective review of everything we did right, everything we did wrong. We're interviewing people that vehemently disagree with us, that oppose the mask mandates, that oppose the stay-at-home orders, people that are international experts. We're stress testing our entire process, coulda, shoulda, woulda, comparing and contrasting to what other states did.
Yeah, okay. So you're justifying all of your draconian, right? Exactly. Draconian practices during the pandemic. You shift the blame over to Trump, right? We worked with the Trump administration to make sure that. When have you ever actively worked with the Trump administration and not tried to thwart the good things that he wanted to do? Because you don't want him to get any credit for any of the things that would be of benefit to Californians. You want all of that for yourself. You want all of that praise and adoration for yourself. All right. And again, let's not talk about his. Let's not talk about Gavin's. Let's listen in. We're gonna listen in because this is Gavin.
Last week at Prairie Land Detention Facility down in Texas, we saw similar attacks against ICE enforcement officers. Again, it was highly coordinated attacks. They were wearing gear and had rifles as well. This was 10 individuals. But I will say, in those California raids, particularly disturbing the number of politicians that came out and continued to villainize and attack and demonize our ICE law enforcement officers. At that particular operation, David, at those marijuana facilities, our ICE enforcement officers found 14 children, 10 who were unaccompanied. They were likely being exploited, potential slave or forced labor, potential child and human trafficking. So this is something that is incredibly disturbing. It goes far beyond politics. And not only were there 10 unaccompanied children at that marijuana facility, but we also apprehended 361 illegal aliens with heinous rap sheets that include kidnapping, child molestation, rape, serial burglary, hit and runs. These are no people who should not be in our communities illegally, much less around innocent children, David.
Trisha, it's Alicia Acuna. Continuing on this topic in particular, according to Customs and Border Control.
This is the man we're trusting, that Californians are trusting to put together a task force to objectively review his successes and failures. It's like when the police department, internal affairs, investigates and finds no wrongdoing with the police department. Hey guys, we're going to investigate ourselves. Well, you might be somewhat biased. Oh, yeah, I'm you know what? I was allowing illegals with rap sheets and criminal records to be around kids, but you know, I'm the type of person that you can trust. I'm going to defend. No, because I'm objective. This is what, yeah, this is it. This is him right here.
You're
right
a
there.
liar. You're a liar.
Gavin, you're a liar. And we're done. That's why I said this is the fatigue of this constant news cycle of these people lying to us, gaslighting us, the deep state continuing to put the smoke and mirrors. Like, hey, pay no attention, right? The Wizard of Oz, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, right? But what's our job? Our job is to bread and circuses, continue to enjoy our entertainment, right, in the form of Netflix, in the form of sports, and not really, no, don't pay attention to anything, guys. As long as you got your bread and your circuses, you should be fine. You should be fine, right? You should be fine. Yeah. People say I'm watching not Fox News. I don't even have a television. You guys are foolish, right?
You are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
When you come in here saying dumb things, I'll just play that and let you have it, right? You can just keep over on the side. There you go. Keep having your fun in the chat. The chat's over there to me, right? Have your fun in the chat. But you make no difference. You make no difference, right? You have no power here. You have no power here. You have no power here. All right? Now, because all y'all gonna do is tap dance, right? For the left.
And you ain't black.
Right? Y'all come in here and tell me that, right? Yeah, right? I'm an incel with 5 kids, a wife and 5 kids, right? You're right.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb, for real.
Oh boy, that's crazy. Oh, look, Chuck, Kiana, Caleb, these people, the people that come, exactly, right? Now they're gonna switch it because they're right there.
Why are you gay?
Why are you worried about my life? Why are you?
Why are you gay?
Why? Just why? Why you worried about my relations? Why? Thank you. All right, so let's keep moving. Now, I've never seen so many people come in here and worry about a man's facial hair, his sex life, and the like. And it's like, why?
Why are you gay?
Why are they, right? It's very gay to worry about another man's looks and appearance, to be so fixated on it, right? Why are you gay? Goodness. All right. So this is a real life situation here where, Gavin Newsom admits that the South Park sketch is real. Let's go.
Community, all these mixed status families, $8.5 billion in tax collection in California every year from undocs. $8.5 billion that we receive just at the state level of taxes. That was the last Pew estimate. So not insignificant. Backbone, it's half of our agriculture work. You care about farmers and ranchers? If that's what your number one go-to commitment, then you sure as hell should care about their workers. 41% of our construction workers, Texas and California have the highest percentage of their construction workers that would fall into that category. How the hell do we rebuild Altadena and Palisades? We're going to need a peak next year. We estimate about 70,000 workers. Without that workforce, ain't going to happen. You're struggling here. You imagine a peak there. So I think there needs to be a pathway for those folks as we secure the border, and we own that issue.
Do you feel that they're taking American jobs?
Not in Tulare County. Not in Ventura County. I don't know many people that want a job out there in those packing facilities. I don't see many people look like me jumping at those jobs. I just don't. Maybe there's some exceptions. I haven't seen the evidence of that.
They took our jobs.
So essentially, he just admitted that's exactly what's going on. When South Park was talking, this was what, almost 20 years ago when South Park, that episode came out. And legitimately, there are people in America that want these jobs. I've seen, I follow black farming pages on Facebook, and there are black farmers who want those positions. There are people who are interested in farming them, right? So what are you talking, packing? If someone is unemployed that wants to work and they can't find a good job because the wages are being undercut by illegals and companies who hire illegals, then they are in essence taking American jobs, right? You say, I don't think people want these jobs. Well, how do you know? They're not even being given an opportunity to compete in the marketplace because of the illegal immigration crisis. What's going on, Brother Anthony Allen? All right. What's going on, Brother? Now, you don't understand what someone is willing to do, especially if they're not given the opportunity. If you flood the marketplace with cheap labor and you undercut the Americans' ability to work, and you sit there as an elitist saying, well, people that I know don't want that. Yeah. How many average American laborers do you know, Gavin Newsom? Do you run in those circles? Are you well known? Right? I know, right? Right. That's a crazy thing, Caleb. It's asinine. They're like, you could. It's easy if they don't just watch it. Just swipe up. Just up. Let's just swipe up. And then they comment and give me engagement. Which, thanks. I'm happy. Thank you for commenting and rage quitting. I'm gonna rage quit. Right. Oh, thank you. Yes, Christ is King. Keep on. Come on, Jose. Thank you for the super chat. Yes. All right. And let's just start making some babies then. We got to make babies. We got to get people to start making babies. That's how you do it. You can get, you can create workers, get people, right? Turn on some Teddy Pendergrass, get with your wife, and start making some babies. We need more Americans. We need them, right? Okay, then we could probably get the government out of subsidizing certain, Yeah, rage join. Come on, rage join. Yes. Come in mad. Coming in hot, coming in mad, right? Okay, so let's see. We got Tucker, leftist. I have so much stuff. This is my rundown. I got a whole bunch of stuff in the rundown. I always put more in the rundown than I'm going to need so that I never run out of stuff to talk about. But we only have like 10 minutes left. So we're going to keep. I'm just trying to do some lunchtime lives to keep it consistent until I can get back to the weeknight stuff so that people. Let's see. I was going to talk a little bit about the Kentucky shooting. Oh, man. Let's see. I got this Zionism fatigue. This kicked out of TPUSA. That's a long one. Oh yes, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. We should be able to get some people. Yeah, let's end it. Yeah, let's end it. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Yeah, let's do this. Here we go. We're gonna do this. All right. I could put this under. I could have put this under 2 different headings, but I figured, why not? Why not? Here we go. All right. Whoo boy. Yeah. So we got this young man running for mayor of. Yeah. Here we go. Let's listen
Omar,
in.
why aren't you? Everyone keeps asking me, Omar, why aren't you doing more videos? As a state senator with a second full-time job and a kid on the way, I just haven't been able to find the time. I've also been fighting for you, passing things like tuition-free college for working-class families, rideshare protections for our Uber and Lyft drivers, and the legalization of fentanyl testing strips. But this summer, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, because we deserve nice things in Minneapolis too. To make an affordable Minneapolis that works for everyone, we need a mayor that works as hard as you do.
Yeah.
I'm ready to work hard too. 1, build a Minneapolis that working people can afford to call home. 2, protect our city from a hostile White House. And 3, diversify our city's public safety response. By increasing the minimum wage to $20 by 2028 and passing rent stabilization to stop price gouging and incentivizing new construction, we can protect workers. Protecting all of our communities from Donald Trump means not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for an immigration raid or not. Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump and say, no, not in our community. Did you know that the city's own data showed that 47% of calls to MPD can be diverted to non-police response? Cops aren't social workers. Investments in programs like these ensure that the appropriate response arrives when we call 911. And we can actually free up police resources to focus on violent crime that detracts from community safety. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my campaign managers again. They've been on my case all week about make more videos. I'll find the time tomorrow.
Oh boy. All right. So he's going to Donald Trump proof Minnesota or Minneapolis, right? This is what happens, right? They flooded Minnesota with Somalian refugees, and now there's a Somalian candidate for mayor. He's a state senator. What's it? Ilhan Omar. There are some very, very troubling signs when we have people who are not interested in American ideals, which are founded on Christianity. There is a marked difference between Islam and Christianity. And we don't, if we wanted to be a Muslim nation, that's what the founders would have built the Constitution around. Sharia. Sharia existed when America was founded. The founders chose to look to the scriptures. It was Enlightenment plus Christianity, right, to form our governmental system. If we were supposed to be an Islamic nation and have Islamic rulers and congressmen and state senators and the like, that's what would have happened at the outset. The colonies were expressly Christian, right? Read this book, America's Christian History, The Untold Story by Gary DeMar. Our country was not meant to be run by Muslims. It just wasn't. Like it or not, you can clutch pearls, but someone like people like Ilhan Omar and Omar Fateh were never supposed to be in our government. Okay? You can, again, read the book before you come here with the stupidity about the United States being a secular government. Just read this book. If you read this book, then you can come back and talk. Until you read that book, shut up. Right? You're proving your ignorance, right? You're proving your ignorance. Okay? You can just yap. Okay? Read the book and then come back and talk, right? You can read this one too. Okay, read this one too. It's another good one. All right, it's another good one. The founding documents. I've read it multiple times. I'm not going to do it again. I've read it multiple times on the channel from that Christian history book. It's up to you, right? If you want to read it, you can read it. You can remain in your ignorance, or you can read it. But it is what it is, right? Because I've read the original, right, and the source documents are in there, right? You can just exactly, right? Okay, you can read the book because the book has quotes from the founding fathers. It has quotes from the colonists. It actually pulls from the state constitutions of, right. I mean, that's up to y'all. You can do it. You can do it if you want. You don't have to. You can read what you can remain in ignorance. I don't care. That's up to you, right? I'm just not going to play your game. I'm just going to tell you that you're wrong and keep moving. Okay. Now, so let's keep talking about this. Now, this is what he says when he talks about where he's from, right? He's originally born and raised here, but let's listen to, his pandering.
For him and pray for him and pray for him.
Here we go.
We should make dua for him and pray for him and pray for him. I understand that our Somali communities are all connected to each other here in Minnesota and back home, and I ask for your support. There's always been a link between our community here as well as back home, and I'm running to bridge that gap and unite all of us and represent all of us, because when we succeed here, we succeed everywhere. And I'm hoping to do that just like Abdulrazak, inshallah. We should make dua for him.
Yeah. And again, it's not about America. He's there to connect and unite Somalians here and Somalians in Somalia. He wants them to succeed here, which is fine. If you believe, the way you want to succeed is to become more American, right? And maybe promote those ideals back home. But if you're trying to bring Somalia here, and we don't want you left that place for a reason. You were refugees from Somalia for a reason. Don't bring your practices here. Right? And no, I'm not a Zionist. I do not support Israel, if y'all want to know. I can support neither the nation state of Israel nor any Islamic state or the Islamic takeover. Here's the problem. I already believe that Israel has too much influence in our government. I don't want Islamic practices to have influence in our government. That's what being America first is about. We don't want Islam to have influence here, nor Talmudic Judaism or the the nation state of Israel. Right, exactly. You run from a place and want to make our lovely home the same as the place you fled. Yeah, he wants to protect Somalians. And his purpose, he says it. Y'all can keep believing it. Right. And the belief in freedom of religion wasn't the freedom to practice any pagan worship at all. It was the freedom from persecution for believing your specific Christian denomination or sect. That's what.
Investing in increasing affordable housing and not gentrifying our neighborhoods. These are all things that are causing harm to our community because of this idea that there isn't money, when in reality, we do have this money to spend on this. It's just that we're choosing not to. It's not a value of ours. So right now we're blessed to have 3 Somali elected officials at the Capitol. Me, Sister Holden Hassan, who's in the State House, and Brother Mahmoud Noor. And we work very closely together. And we carry each other's bills. So the way it works is, if there's a bill in the House, it needs an identical bill to be carried in the Senate for it to be negotiated and to pass in the committees, and then go on for the floor session, and then go on to the governor's signature. So we're able to pass our bills back and forth that'll help benefit our communities. Investing in increasing affordable housing and not gentrifying our neighborhoods. These are all things that are...
They're working together to infiltrate, essentially do the best thing that you can do for Somalians, right? We don't want that. But and someone mentioned it earlier. We need to expand the definition of treason. If you come here to subvert, I would believe someone like Ted Cruz could be charged with treason. If you put another nation, if you're in our government and you are trying to put another nation before this one, that's treasonous behavior. Whether it's Somalia, whether it's Israel, no matter who it is. That's treasonous. So we need to expand that definition so people like Ted Cruz and Tammy Bruce would tamp down that rhetoric about being Israel first. Benedict Arnold. Essentially, if you know the story of Benedict Arnold, right, how would they be any different if they're trying as best they can to subvert and to reroute funds and to make bills in Minneapolis state government favor Somalians? Yeah. This is the last thing, and we're going to go. This is going to be the last thing we're going to talk about. Omar. Last thing that he says, right? So this is his agenda, right? It says it. It's running for Minneapolis mayor to raise the minimum wage. We saw that in the video by over $4 in a few years. Freeze rent and Trump-proof the city. He's openly saying he wants to make sure that MPD does not help ICE. He's going to openly combat the wishes of the American people to get rid of all illegal immigrants. He's going to do the best that he can to make sure that he bankrupts Minneapolis by raising the minimum wage for some unknown reason. Why people just need more money. Just because the minimum wage will always be zero, because if an employer cannot afford to pay you what the artificial government minimum wage that's been set, if they can't afford to pay you that, then they won't hire you, and so you'll just be earning nothing. You can raise the minimum wage to $60 an hour. If a company can't afford to pay you $60 an hour to flip burgers, they're going to automate. You're thinking about, Uber drivers need more. They need this. They need that. Self-driving cars. It's all they're going to. The businesses are not going to pay that exorbitant wage if they don't have to. They'll automate. Businesses will find a way to avoid going into the hole. And so you can believe his policies if you want, that he's going to Trump-proof this, Trump-proof that. It's very nice rhetoric. Until the bill comes, until the check comes, right? Until the check comes, right? Now, anyway, thank you to everybody that tuned in. Thank you to everybody that liked. Thank you to everybody that commented, whether positive or negative, right? We monetize our haters over here. We appreciate you. If you want to spend the time listening to me and calling me names, I'll take that time out of your day. If you have that kind of time to waste, keep coming. Because I'm not going to block you, and my moderators, they may time you out, but we're not going to ban you. We're going to let you, right? Yes, we're going to let you, right? If y'all come in here, y'all want to do that, I'm just going to tell you this, right?
I just want some money.
If y'all want to hate comment, keep that engagement up, I'm just going to use you for money, right? I'll just use some money, right? There you go. Use you for some money. All right, until next time. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Until next time, right? The hate. Thank you, Elsa. The haters bring the algorithms, right? I know how YouTube works. That's why I don't ban them. They keep coming. They keep on coming. Come on. That's right. Exactly. I'm going to let Gozy be the last thing we say. Raising the minimum wage only raises the cost of living too. Right. Just look at Cali. Exactly. Every place where that has happened has been an unmitigated disaster. We're going to talk about Javier Milei. I've had him in here three rundowns, and I haven't talked about his successes in Argentina, but we're going to talk about that too. But until next time, we got to close out because I got to go and pick some people up. Till next time, be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. See y'all around. Bye.